Okay, so what do you call it when a plane comes down in a garbage heap? All right, so we're talking about exponents. We talked about roots, and this is their inverse operation. So you know when we're talking about PEDs, we have parentheses and other grouping symbols, and then we have exponents and roots and radicals. So we're talking about inverse operations today. So 5 squared, which is 5 times 5, which is 25. And when you talk about the inverse, so we know the root of 25 equals 5. So you see how they're related. One undoes the other. Okay? But what about this sucker? 5 to the negative second. What happens when you have a negative exponent? Well, the first thing I'm going to tell you is negative exponents have nothing to do with negative numbers. Okay? They're more like when you are staying somewhere and there are bunk beds. And they tell you, and you want to be in the bottom bunk, and your big brother says, no, I'm in the bottom. I'm going to be in the bottom bunk. You have to be in the top bunk, or vice versa. So, what's the denominator for 5?
Negative.
What's the denominator for 5?
1.
1. Okay, so we have 5 over 1 to the negative second power. Okay, poor 5 is in the top bunk. 5 is afraid of heights. 5 does not want to be in that top bunk. So it's negative. It's really upset. It doesn't want to be in the top bunk. It wants to be in the bottom bunk. So, if it gets its way, it gets to be in the bottom bunk, and it's no longer negative. So that's what happens. If it gets to go and sleep in the bunk it wants to be in, it doesn't have to be negative anymore. And that's all there is to negative exponents. It's about numerators and denominators, not about negative numbers. So, if you look at number C, we have 2 to the negative fifth. What's its denominator?
1.
1. Is it happy?
No.
Where does it want to be?
Bottom bunk.
And what is, it's just going to be 2 to the fifth. Once it's where it wants to be, it loses its negativity because it's not upset anymore. It's in the right bunk. Okay? So this one's 1. 2 times 2 is?
4.
Times 2?
8.
Times 2?
16.
Times 2?
32.
32nd.
Oh.
Okay? 16 times 2 is 32. Okay? But what happens when you have something like this? Exponents are really interesting insofar as I have negative 9 to the third power. This is section 8. Well, I know 9 to the third power equals 729. Okay? Exponents only affect what's right next to them. Okay? So this one is the opposite of 9 to the third power. So this would be negative 729. Because it's the opposite of whatever 9 to the third power is. So when you get it, now we're going to have negative 9 to the negative third. Is it happy?
No.
No. So what's going to happen? We're going to, is it positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. We're 729. Numerator or denominator?
Denominator.
Denominator, and then if you don't have a numerator, it gets 1. So negative 1 over 729. Pretty straightforward?
Looks like.
You good? All right. So let me show you something else. what happens when we get something like section 5. Okay, we saw what happened with the 9s, and I said, what about if we have -4, and I'm going to go straight to -2. Thank you. Okay, we said exponents only affect what they're right next to. Okay, so -2 is affecting the parenthesis. What do they mean by affecting the parentheses? What do the parentheses do? What do parentheses do?
Make it multiply?
Put everything together. So, is it happy?
No.
So where does the -4 go?
Bottom.
Okay, so we get -4. Don't move, please.
Oh,
What's -4 times -4? Positive 16. And there's your answer.
Don't.
Okay?